it's a very shameful way which the French and the Germans behaved, and eventually those who signed on behalf of Ukraine, Germany, and France, Poroshenko, Merkel, and Hollande, being retired already, they stated in an interview, we never intended to implement this. We just needed to buy time to push more weapons into Ukraine. And of course, NATO was playing a key role. This Ramstein process led by the United States during Biden time. Now the Americans want to give it to the Brits, I understand. But the Europeans do not stop the efforts. On the contrary, they kind of increase them and call for more and more support, becoming more and more emphatic, and I would even say nervous. EU also lost its independence, it's lost its economic meaning, because when a German government spokesman says, no, we would never restore this gas pipeline, Nord Stream 2, because we have to get rid of the dependence on the Russian gas. But this was the basis for the German economy, for prosperity of the German economy. They pay now 4 or 5 times more than similar industries pay for gas in the United States. And business is moving to the US. Deindustrialization of Europe is taking place. And they are ready to sacrifice all this just for the sake of achieving ideological goal, defeating Russia. They were saying in the battlefield, Russia must be strategically defeated. Now they say we would not accept capitulation of Ukraine. It's a change, almost 360 degrees, as Annalena Baerbock says. But this is about governments, the Biden administration, Ursula von der Leyen and her commission, the Brits, who regularly accuse Russia of corruption, who regularly accuse Russia of violating human rights, and who basically, whatever international issue they discuss, they start with human rights. Right. Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, of course, Nicaragua, South Africa now violated human rights by passing a law on land. Central Asia, whenever there are several formats between the West and Central Asia, human rights are on top everywhere. But on Ukraine, where the Russian language has been exterminated legally and physically, there is a special agency to watch for this legislation to be fully implemented. Nobody ever mentioned human rights except us. Now Hungarians, Bulgarians start raising this issue because they also have their minorities. In Ukraine, which was carved up mostly by Stalin after World War II. Another lie which Emmanuel Macron said in his recent pathetic statement was about a meeting in Paris in December 2019. Macron, Merkel, Putin, Zelensky, which the Germans and the French convened to save the Minsk agreements. And there was a preparatory work which culminated in a draft document agreed by experts, by ministers of the four countries, and then presented to the presidents and chancellor. And it was, consensus. It was consensus, and it said that there would be disengagement at 3 areas on the line of contact immediately, as the beginning of disengagement of forces along the entire duration of the line of contact. Agreed. And when it was shown to the leaders, everybody was satisfied. Zelensky said, no, I can only agree to try to do this in 3 experimental areas, not along the entire line of contact. Nobody could understand why, but he insisted. But the main thing that he never disengaged even at these 3 locations. And the military activities continued. I, by the way, would like to emphasize in these new circumstances after the January 20 that the importance of Ukraine for the Russian security is many, many, many times bigger than the importance of Greenland for the US security.
No, that's for sure.
And the second issue about root causes, I also referred to the extermination of the Russian language, media, culture, prohibition of opposition parties, prohibition of some opposition media, even published in Ukrainian language and operating in Ukrainian language, murder and disappearance of journalists, not to mention the military crimes, war crimes against the people in Donbass immediately after the coup when they called them terrorists. And all this grossly violates the UN Charter, which says everybody must respect human rights of every person, irrespective of race, gender, language, or religion. It's on top. It's Article 1 of the UN Charter. Speaking on human rights and on the sincerity of our Western friends, Europe and the UK, they certainly want this to continue. The way they received Zelensky in London after the scandal in Washington, and it's an indication that they want to raise the stakes, and they are preparing something to pressure Trump administration back into some aggressive action against Russia. We are philosophical about this. We know what we are doing. But I am mostly amazed with this peacekeepers obsession. Peacekeepers, let's stop. Macron says, let's stop in 1 month. Peacekeepers would be deployed. Then we'll see what to do next. It is not what we say is required for the end of this war, which the West waged against us through Ukrainians with their direct participation of their military. We know this. If NATO expansion is recognized, at least by Donald Trump, as one of the root causes, then the presence of the troops from NATO countries under any flag in any capacity on Ukrainian soil is the same threat. Unfortunately, we had used to have good relations with President Netanyahu, Putin always is underlining when he speaks about this region that the solution is impossible without a Palestinian state and without a reliable security arrangements for Israel. The two states were created by the decision of the General Assembly, 1948, 48. And the decision, I don't remember the exact wording, but the decision basically conditioned the creation and existence of one state against the creation and conditions of another, and the existence of another. Now everybody who wants a Palestinian state speaks about 1967 borders, which is very different from 1948 borders, which were supposed to be the borders of Israel and of Palestine. If you take a look at a map now, 1967 borders is like galaxy compared to what you have, and the West Bank is all in settlements. And the latest development, I saw many reports that Israelis decided to annex in a specific way the West Bank by taking it under total control without sending Palestinians out, but concentrating them in several municipalities, not in camps, in municipalities. We discussed the situation in the Persian Gulf. We discussed the joint comprehensive action program on Iran nuclear issue. We are in favor of restoring the original program from which the Americans dropped during the first Trump government. There are some contacts on the European side. We would be in favor of resuming the format which developed the original deal endorsed by the Security Council, which is France, Germany, UK, US, Russia, China, and Iran. We'll see how it goes, but what is worrying is that there are some indications that the Americans would like this New Deal to be accompanied by political conditions, insisting that there should be some verifiable arrangement for Iran not to support groups in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Syria, anywhere, which I don't think is going to fly. So to say that everybody has this right to project influence, except Iran, I don't think it's realistic.
Yeah.
April 2022, Istanbul. Macron said that Putin tried to impose something on Zelensky. It's another lie by Macron.
Yeah.
Because the paper which was initialed by us and Ukrainians was prepared by Ukrainians. And we accepted this. It was very straightforward. No NATO, no military bases, no military maneuvers. Instead of NATO, guarantees are provided by Permanent Five, plus Germany, plus Turkey, and the list is open. Anybody who would like can join the list of guarantors. And these guarantees do not cover Crimea and the part of Donbass which was controlled by Russia at that time. And it was their thing.
Yeah.
And these principles were initialed, and there was an agreement to develop a treaty paper on this basis. Then Boris Johnson said, don't do it, continue to fight, just like the head of German intelligence now says that we cannot stop until 2029. Maybe they want to sit out Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
So had they been cooperative and had they delivered on their own initiative, they would still have 1991 borders minus Crimea, minus some part of Donbass.
They should have taken the deal.
Of course they should.
Every time they cheat, they lose. And the process continues.